Hey you, I want to talk to you for a second. I want to tell you a story about a young boy born in Chicago, transplanted to Baltimore, then to California. Dane is an abbreviation of my last name, Dangerfield. Long time ago, September 9th, 1985, approximately 8:07 p.m., I was born into this world to Ivy Rowena Taylor and Dewan Bernard Dangerfield, my father, who I never really had a relationship with growing up. I met maybe a couple of times, and the only times he came around was when he wanted to screw around with my mother, and he tried to bribe me with money. As a kid, it was tough growing up in the south side of Chicago. That's where I grew up. Me and my siblings, my two brothers and my sister. It was hard for us being in Chicago with a single mother with 4 kids and trying to survive. My mom lost her job, and that just made things worse. She started to go crazy, beating us for any little thing that she thought was a problem. Safe to say I had a very, very difficult childhood, but all of my trials and tribulations and all of my shortcomings have turned me into the person I am today. Getting back to the story, I lived in a house that was condemned for 4 years. No utilities, no electricity, no gas, no running water. We'd go into the bathroom sometimes, toilet would be filled with, you know what, all kind of exits. And this is as a kid. My oldest brother, being the oldest, left first. My sister and my other brother, eventually, they would always stay gone a lot. But me, being the youngest, the baby, I was stuck. Couldn't go anywhere. I was only 9 years old. So that kind of, having that kind of trauma at an early age, it kind of affected me for a very long time. Me and my mom had like the worst relationship. I couldn't even talk to my mom for a very long time. When we finally, after the 4 years, when the lights came on, the manager thought we left. When she came to the house and saw the conditions, obviously the police were called, my mom was put in custody, and I was almost awarded the state. My great-grandmother saved my life that night, because if she had not come, I'd be awarded the state for the next 9 years, 10 years, until I was 18. Who knows what would have happened to me? You may not be sitting here having a conversation with me right now, or maybe a different me, a completely different me. She didn't want me, my mother, she didn't want me connected with my father's side of his family, because supposedly they were all drug kingpins. And she didn't want me around that lifestyle. That's the story she gives me. That's what she tells me. Today, me and my mom have a better relationship than we've had in past years, because I've forgiven her, like, completely. I love my mother to the core. Like, that's still my mother no matter what. Even the conditions she put me through, I have realized as I've grown older, that she did the best with what she had, the cards she was dealt. And I can't fault her for that. All I can do is try to make her life easier as she gets older, by giving her something that none of us ever had. When we moved, after that, I was living with my grandmother for about 6 months. My mom went to jail for 6 months. And when she was released, the problem started again. She eventually got into it with my great-grandmother, and she kicked us out. We were homeless once again. But at least this time we were actually homeless, not homeless living inside a condemned house. So then we decided to move to Baltimore with my grandfather, my mom's dad. Safe to say, you go from bad to worse. Chicago is already one of the murder capitals of the world. And then you move to Baltimore, which is another murder capital of the world. So, safe to say, I wasn't on the path to success. I was on a path to failure for sure. In Baltimore, it's a very dog-eat-dog world. So when you get there, you got to learn by the seat of your pants. Like, you're fucking thrust into the shit. I had my first encounter with like a super gang in Baltimore, where there was a group of kids that used to walk around jumping people, and they would jump people into this group. So once you got beat up by them, you were part of the crew now. So this gang grew. It started with about 10 guys. It grew to about 50. And by the time they got to me, it was about 50 or 60 people. And I had saw them jump somebody before, probably a few days before, and they almost killed this kid. So they ganged up on me while I was on my homeboy's porch, and my friend would not let me in his house. He literally would not let me in his house. So I'm out here against this whole crowd of people, which is the world, and they about to kill me. So what you think I do in that situation? Being a 12-year-old boy, afraid for his life, I cried. I'm not afraid to say it. I cried like a bitch. They left me alone. They was like, God damn, I don't know. Maybe God was looking out for me, but maybe the tears kind of be like, damn, we got to stop beating up people. But anyway, same story happens. My mom gets into it with my grandfather. He kicks us out. We're homeless again. That's when she has the ingenious idea to charter a Greyhound and put me on a bus and send me across the country to California to live with my grandmother. If I'm going to be honest, that was the craziest shit you could do for a kid at 12, is put him on a bus and send him across the fucking Bible Belt and all the southern states and all that shit of America by himself. Pretty much he was saying, you gonna die, but I'm out of options. My oldest brother had already went to prison. He went to prison when I was 11 for I'm just gonna say a crime. Then my middle brother, we'll get to that later. So she sends me across with $50. $50 to my name for a 4-day trip from Baltimore, Maryland to California. And doesn't tell my grandmother that I'm coming. So I run out of money in the first 2 days. Because I'm a kid. I'm buying candy, I'm buying chips, I'm not thinking of budgeting. I'm just spending it. That $50 was a lot of money to me at that time. So we get to about Denver, and I'm out of money. I'm literally out of money, and so this guy is like looking at me. This old white guy, he comes up to me. He's like, "Hey man, are you going to the store with all these people?" I'm like, "No, I'm like sitting on the bus because I'm sitting on the bus by myself." He's like, You're not hungry?" I was like, "I don't have any money." He's like, "Well, he's looking around. He's like, "Where's your parents?" I was like, "It's just me." I was like, "It's just me. I'm taking a trip. I'm going to my grandmother." He's like, "And you don't have any money?" I was like, "No." He's like, "Get up." He takes me in the store, buys me some food, which was kind of him. And we're in Denver, so I'm eating my food in the bus station, and the bus is leaving. Safe to say the bus almost left my ass. If it wasn't for this old black lady, I didn't get her name, I can't remember to this day. If it wasn't for this old black lady saying, "Get your ass on this bus, it's this bus," she had been, and she told me once I got on the bus, "I've been watching you this entire trip. I've been keeping my eye on you, and I know you're not with nobody." If it wasn't for her telling me to get on that damn bus, I would have been in Denver, Colorado, or probably kidnapped. Probably, I don't know. But I would have ended up somewhere other than California. So I get to California, and my grandmother picks me up, and obviously she's steamed at my mom, and rightfully so. And then I start to see a whole new world when I came to California. A whole new world of possibilities and opportunity. And for the first time in my life, I've seen something other than black women. Now, I'm not saying nothing bad about black women, but that's when you've been dating that your entire life and you come to a smorgasbord of women. Like, I went to high school and it was the most diverse. High school is like America in a school because there's so many different types of people, race-wise, everything. So when I saw that, I was just like, holy shit, the world is not all black because that was my world when I was in Chicago and Baltimore. So seeing that, it literally opened my mind up to a number of like limitless possibilities of what I could do and who I could be with and what different women are like, different people are like, pretty much. Still poor, very, a lot of it. I had to get my first job at 16. My grandmother was like, you want to buy new clothes? You want to buy new shoes? You want all that shit? You're going to have to get a job. I was on a basketball team. I was playing sports, you know. I was fighting with being an athlete and trying to be something else. But that remained, that hunger to be better always remained in my system. And music, not even talking about music, has always been in my family. My brother was a cantor. My other brother was a baritone. My sister was a soprano. I was a tenor. I was in the choir when I was 7 years old. Like, I'm musically inclined. Like, my family is. My grandmother was a soprano. My mom was a soprano. My uncles were singers. Like, my uncle plays the guitar and plays all these different instruments. My family has always been in music. So I've always been around music since I was a kid. It's just that I didn't take the time to actually focus on it. I went to Birmingham High School where I chased fucking women and squandered opportunities. Then I took time off of school and then I ended up going to college at 22 where I chased women and squandered opportunities and built up a fucking pile of debt and didn't finish college. Something I'm not proud of. I'm definitely not proud of it. But can always be rectified. All that to say, it brought me back to my original passion, which is music. Something that I couldn't get away from. I've tried for years to be a rapper. That shit was never ever in my cards. I can rap, but I was always fighting against my true shit. I was always fighting against what I truly am, who I truly am, which is an R&B singer. I have a God-given voice that's just meant to sing and meant to bring joy and relations to different people. What I'm working on now is a brand new album, dated to come out on January 24th, 2021. Now, with the pandemic, I know it's been tough for artists to travel. It's been tough for artists to play shows and make a living and do all the things necessary in order to get their music out there. I just wanted to get on here and talk to y'all and really get personal and just talk about me. It's a form of therapy. It's a way of letting you guys get to know me, you guys and girls, get to know who I am, and understand that the music that I'm making is not about bullshit. The music I'm making is about my life, about things that have happened to me, past and present. I love to write my experiences. I love to write about situations that either hurt me or helped me. They're all lessons. You're gonna have failures in life. You're gonna have a lot of failure in life. Just know that. Once you're willing to accept that, then you can actually begin to start succeeding. The number one thing you should always go into life is knowing is you're gonna fail. Once you accept that, you'll start winning. So like I was saying, my website is ImJustDane, where you can pre-order my album there, or you can go to my Instagram profile at ImJustDane, and you can click the link in my bio and pre-order my album there or pre-save it there. I want you all to go ahead and listen to my album and check it out and tell me what you think. I'm doing this in order to connect with most of you who probably have some of the same experiences. They probably have some of the same situations that they've been in their life, or maybe not. But anyone can relate to a story of perseverance and persistence and consistency. That's the name of the game. The number one thing in life you gotta remember is success requires no explanation and failure permits no alibis. As long as you remember that, you're on the right track. I'm Dane, y'all. Y'all have a good day.